Mind focus. Don't mind my bangs. I'm getting them trimmed later this afternoon. I kind of do my hair like I go to somebody, have them set up my shape, and then I try to keep it up until it's out of shape, and then I go back to somebody who knows what they're doing. Anywho, so here are, in addition to that, here are 6 ways that I optimize my life so that I can sew more, or insert whatever activity, right? Here are some ways you can just optimize your life so you can get back to doing the fun things instead of just doing the whatever things to keep you chugging. First and foremost, health. You got to prioritize it, because if you aren't able to think and to physically do and all that sort of stuff, like, how are you supposed to do the fun stuff? So it's all of the basics, which is a great thing. And it really, when you boil down I wish I had known these things all my life. I would have saved on time, money, and been healthier. Especially in the trenches of motherhood, it would have saved so much energy, and all of your energy is so precious. Oh, by the way, I've moved back home, right? So this is not all aesthetically pleasing, but she's doing for the time being, and it's working. I moved out of my office space coming up on a year ago now. Grateful that I don't have rent, and grateful that I was able to smush everything in this little space. So you get what you get, you don't pitch a fit, and you're grateful for what you got. Going back to health, being grateful for your health, right? You want to keep it as optimal as you can, because you want to be able to think and to physically do and to stay focused and have the energy and all that sort of stuff. And had I known these things, especially back in the trenches of motherhood, I would have just saved all of that precious energy. You're not sleeping, all that sort of stuff. So it's basic things like beans. I mean, how inexpensive are dried beans? And you've got to plan ahead a little bit, but each step is very quick. That's the word, quick. So, you soak the beans overnight. It takes, a minute or so to soak beans. And then you pressure cook. Pressure cooker is one of those purchases where you're like, it was worth absolutely every penny, like in its weight of gold. I absolutely adore my pressure cooker. I just finished a round of beans over there, and it goes on in the background. You put your beans in, obviously some water. I do a little bit less water because I don't want it to spill over and have it be a mess and that sort of thing. It also gives you a little bit more of a creamy texture to your beans, which I really like. And you just set her up, you put a little laundry in, you get the trash, you do this, you wipe down the countertops, whatever, and in 10-15 minutes your pressure cooker is going around. Turn it off and just let her sit. It's so easy. So right now she's sitting, and after filming this video, I'll get into a sewing session. So it's also things like sleep and regular exercise and getting, your sunlight, especially your morning, especially your morning sunlight. It's just the basics. It's the basics, which are often free, if not very, very low cost. So first of all, prioritize your health. And like I said, with that, it comes food. So food can rob you of your time if you are not careful. I love bulk meal prepping. Things like beans, I only do frozen. I shouldn't say only, but the vast majority of my produce is frozen, because it optimizes on your money, and you don't have to worry about going bad. So it's, you take it out. I do not heat it in the plastic bags because that's bad for you, but you can just do a bulk thing of spinach or insert vegetable, right? And you just have it in the fridge ready to go, and you portion her out as needed. I've got my notes. This is my computer screen, so I've got my notes over here. So if you're getting into this, I would recommend getting like a metal container for all your stuff. I'm still currently using plastic Tupperwares, but that's before I knew any better. Now that I know better, I am going to be repurchasing those sometime. Don't let the perfection be the enemy of good, right? And then as far as how many meals you eat, first of all, you'll only need meals. I fell into that trap of snacking as well. We don't need a snack. Even my kiddos, like babies, they eat around the clock because they're babies and they're growing. But my kiddos, they've got 3 meals a day, maybe 4. Maybe like one snack if you're 3 to 4 or 5 age, whatever. But you really don't need it. If you have a good solid meal, depending on your lifestyle, 2 to 4 meals. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday when he was doing all of that bodybuilding and all of that muscle and everything like that. I remember hearing in an interview, he said he did 6 meals throughout the day, and he put on that much muscle. Okay, nobody needs to be eating around the clock. I also heard an average that people are eating 17 times a day. Nobody needs to be doing that, and that's the average. So another thing is to deep clean your house once a week, but play keep up, not catch up. And really, that's kind of the game with all of this. But if you are constantly keeping your house clean, then your deep cleaning becomes much less of an endeavor. Now, there are some tools that help with deep cleaning. I highly recommend a cordless vacuum cleaner. I got my first when Henry was a baby, and it was an absolute game changer, not having a cord. I was baby wearing him while doing the vacuuming and all that sort of stuff, and it just helped so much. So then a steam mop, because that's wonderful. It's a lot less, it's just easy. Yes, it has a cord, at least the one that I have, but it's, there's aren't the harsh chemicals and all that sort of stuff. I love olive oil soap. There's a name to it. It starts with a C. But I love that. I use it for body wash. I use it for my house. I use it for so many things. And again, play keep up, not catch up. So when it comes to exercising, what actually is the nitty-gritty? Well, it seems to be a balance of weights and cardio, but then and that's really what exercise is, right? Is weights and cardio. Now, exercise is sustainable because of your mobility. So you need to have your mobility in place. So if you're going from completely stationary, get that mobility in place. That is like your actual form and your tendon strength and all of that things that supports your ability to do cardio and weights without getting injured. Then, even if you're doing the cardios and weights, you want to still incorporate just movement, right? You don't want to just have an hour session in the morning and then be stationary the rest of your day. You want to have little bits of like bites, like little snacks. Okay, that's where you want to have your snacks, is with exercise. So if you're doing a computer session, after 45 minutes to an hour, get up and just do some bodyweight squats. Do 10 of them. Do 15, 20. It takes a minute, right? Just do that and then go back to another session of sedentary stuff. So then there's things just movement, and if even you can layer that, okay, you can put on some anchor weights and move throughout your house or move throughout the park. Embrace it and be the person who has the ankle weights out and about. I've done her multiple times. Oh, I just recently, actually, she's over here charging. Speaking of, so one of the things when you do get in an exercise is your recovery. I just got a new fancy little tool from Bob and Brad. I have been watching Bob and Brad. They actually reached out to me, but I have been watching them for years. I started watching them back when I got my talk about overuse injuries, with my knee, and their channel helped so much with what mobility, what I should be doing, not should be doing, how I should be sleeping, positions to not, all the things. I did a deep dive into their channel, and they just reached out to me out of the blue, and I was like, I would love something. So they sent this little contraption. It is a massager. It does have little feet, so you can pop off. This is a plate, but it does have, you can pop the plate off and have little feet. That way you get like a little more like a pressurized situation, you know what I mean? And it just helps with recovery. You can put it on you go out for a run or you do weights, whatever. Put it on your thighs, your calves, any of the above. Last week, I don't know what happened, but I slept. I woke up and I had a pinched nerve over right here. I guess joys of being older. I don't know. It rarely ever happens, so I'm grateful. But tell you what, and then I've been massaging her with my hands. I've been out and about all day. I hadn't been at my house. And so I've been trying to like break her up with my hands and just failing miserably. And then I came home and I did this thing, and it helped so much. So thank you for sending this. It feels amazing. There's 4 different settings on it, and it just feels very sturdy. It charges with one of those C, like the universal C thing, which is wonderful. And recommend her. with recovery and just longevity and being proactive, really, supplements. And I think the low-hanging fruit is a methylated multivitamin. See, the thing is that being methylated, basically, it just means that it's gone a couple processes beyond. And if your body is able to do those couple processes, okay, there's no difference to you. But if your body is not able to do those couple processes, mine included, I have a gene mutation that doesn't allow me to methylate things correctly. When I say that, I'm really talking about folic acid. And folic acid is something that does not occur in nature, but unfortunately is sprayed all over like our grains here in the United States. So anytime you see fortified or enriched, that's basically the marketing word of glossing over the fact that it's been sprayed with folic acid. Now, Foltake with the ATE is the one, if you don't have a gene mutation like I do, your body's able to take the Foltake IC and convert it to the Foltake, which actually ATE, which your body actually recognizes and can use. If you are not able to make this conversion, then the IC version builds up in your system, which has a cascade of horrible effects, including your homocysteine levels going up and all the things, your thyroid, it just bothers your body. And then you don't have enough, meanwhile, of the ATE one, which your body actually needs for other processes. So, basically, the low-hanging fruit is getting methylated multivitamin, because if you don't have the gene mutation, it's no big deal. But if you do have it, you really need it to be methylated. Then vitamin D, it acts more like a hormone. We've known this for at least 10 years or not, or more. Magnesium complex, because electrolytes are critically important for everything, right? From your neurons being able to fire and control your muscles and all the things. And then omega-3 oil. Then the last but certainly not least on optimizing, hey sweetie, what is it? We're home for summer. What's up? Do you need something? I'm not calling, I'm just talking to the camera, so I'm doing a video. Do you need my help?
Yeah.
What is it?
That's
That's a microphone. What do you need help with?
So how to spell microphone?
MIC.
M C
RO
R O
PH
P H
ONE.
O N E.
Good job. Alright, is that it? Was that it? Alright, cool.
How do you like that pink watch?
Thank you.
Okay, that used to be mine. And now that's.
Alright, let me finish my video, sweetie.
Okay.
Kiddo Life is good. I am so enjoying this chapter of Kiddo Life. So the last big hack that I would recommend, and this can be applicable to any craft, right? Any endeavor, any activity, is when you're going to get your supplies, kind of have your one and only true store. Not to say that you can't ever branch out, but when you have your tried and true, you know how to order, you know what you're getting, you just, all the nuances go away, you know what you're after, and that saves on time, money, when you, just headache of when something arrives, you're like, oh, this is the one I thought I was getting. Of course, my tried and true is Farmhouse Fabrics. I have been loving them for 15, maybe more years. They're absolutely incredible. Everything from heirloom sewing to women's wear, which I have been making all our dresses for myself lately. I have that content to come. You can do quilts. You can do. They're not a quilting store, but they do have some. They have so much stuff, from winter coats to women's apparel to men's apparel. I mean, they have luxury wools. They have wools that are like super, super thin all the way to the chunky stuff. They have all the fabrics you'd ever want to make a garment out of. So go check them out. I hope these tips and tricks and hacks were helpful. I have been collecting them over 20 years, and thanks for watching. Hope to catch you on the next one.